sleep. Doesn't mean you sleep now, but it's going to tell us more about it. Welcome here.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
It's a privilege to be in Dallas. I've been in Dallas so many times, but I've not had a chance to come here. And my friend here, I was with her in Minnesota, and you, right? Good. We went for lunch. Where did we eat? Where? Chipotle. We went to Chipotle. So and they are very, very good. When I saw them, I felt at home. And I was told that this is the mother. You are very lucky to have them. They are very good. I came from Minnesota yesterday, and there are some friends that I told that I was coming, like Pastor Mukwa. I've seen Mama there. How are you? Minnesota. So how many people don't speak Kisi? Okay. So for the sake of that, I'm gonna. So if you are sitting with somebody who doesn't understand this English, please help them. So I am very happy to be here today, and Pastor Dr. Obinju is my friend. And when he heard that I was coming, he said, you know what, I'm going to run away and give you the pulpit. I said, okay, run, don't look back. So, but he will be here tomorrow, so I'm not taking it forever, so he will be here tomorrow. So today, my background is healthcare. And as a Christian, I'm also a researcher. I've done research, extensive research. I'm doing PhD in dementia and sundowning and mental health. But I have been speaking in most churches in Minnesota. They know me. I think Pastor Binju knows that. During my research, I have come to find out that the topic of sleep is very, very important. And if I was to ask every one of you who sleeps at night very well, how many people sleep very well at night? How do you know? Because you woke up? You don't wake up, and we don't wake up. Okay. How many people work a night shift? Okay. How many people know that sleep is mentioned over 200 times in the Bible? 200 times. How many? And how many people know that sleep is the first thing that is mentioned in the Bible? How many people know that light and darkness are the first things that are mentioned in the Bible? Then God said, let there be, and there was light. But he said, let there be light, there was light. Which means there was darkness. Because you can't say, let there be light if there was no darkness. And we are going to look at that in a minute here. So, sleep is mentioned over 200 times in the Bible. And you're going to see that. So if you have a pen or whatever, and I already saved my PowerPoint here. I'm not taking it with. I usually give it out. So anybody that wants that can get it. But you want to see all those, not all of them, because I don't have time. It's only, I've been given 25 minutes. Is it 1 hour? So I will try as much as, normally when I do this, I do it Friday, Saturday during the divine service, and then in the afternoon I leave it for question and answer session. But I'm going to just do my best here. Okay? So, I hope this, where do I point? There? Anywhere? Like this? We want to open the book of Genesis 2, verse 1. The book of Genesis 2, verses 1. Let's see what it says. Maybe somebody can read for us. If you have found it, say amen. Okay, let's see what it says. Genesis 2, verses 1. Okay, very good. Now, if you look up there, it says that God said, let there be what? Let there be light. And there was light. So, before I go to the biblical aspect of it, let us do a little bit of a clinical aspect. What is sleep? What is rest? Can somebody tell me the meaning of rest? Rest. Rest means you leave everything, shut off everything, and just relax without doing anything. Not even your brain. So if you Google the definition of rest, you will see what I'm talking about. So when we say God rested on the seventh day, that means he really rested. It wasn't like, okay, you come to church, but your brain is working. I know there are people who are always available, but they're not present. How many people are available and present right now? There are people who are always, they are here, but their minds are in Nairobi, Kenya. But they are right here. So always when we come to church or when we're here, let us be available and be present. You can be present, but we are not here. So when we talk about the word rest, it means that you rest. You stop doing everything and you rest. So we will see that as we move on. Now, what is the importance of light? Why did God create light before creating us? Did you know that? God created light before he created us. He said, that's now a clinical aspect. I'm going to talk a little. Because he knew that through light, there is what we call our circadian rhythm, our biological clock. How many people know that we have a clock in our head? Everybody has a biological clock. In your head, there is a clock. That is why some people wake up with an alarm, some don't. In our head, there is a biological. So the sunlight, light, sets our circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is a biological clock that goes 24-hour cycle. So in order for us to really be human beings, there are two things. There is what we call, for how many clinicians do I have in the room? How many nurses we have? There is what we call serotonin and melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone in your brain that puts you to sleep. Serotonin is it is in your intestine that actually is a digestive agent. It helps you to digest food. So melatonin starts working at 8 p.m. Serotonin stops working at 8 p.m. Now, if you are sleeping, it means that serotonin is suppressed. It's not working. That is why if you eat too much past 8 p.m., it's not good. But we will see that in a little bit. And it's actually in the Bible. Because Helen G. White says, she talks about sleep. She says, any sleep that you do past midnight is like nothing. How many people have read that? So it's called The Fundamental of Good Health by Helen G. White. So we are going to see the importance of light and importance of darkness. Darkness is very good at night. For those ones who come from our dark continent, it is very good. It is actually sleep friendly. People that live in Africa, they sleep well. You know why? Because it's dark. Now, our body does not know day and night. Right? So, because of this light is good during the day, not at night. Now, let me move here quickly because I only have an hour. I'm going to read this for a little bit here. God said, let there be light. He willed it, and at once there was light. The power of the word of God, he said, let there be light, there was light. And if you read going down, it's going to tell you the importance of that light. Now, what does this mean? The first specific creative act of God in Genesis is the creation of light. That's the first act that God did. He created light, setting our body to have a healthy living. And we're going to see that in a minute here. And then, since the exact interpretation of Genesis 1 is in some doubt, I cannot say that the first creative act was God's creation of light. That is, it is possible that Genesis 1 verses 2 is a summary statement with specific given in what it follows. Then, when you hear the word then, it means there was something before that. It's like saying, I am going to the grocery and then I will go. So when you hear the word then, it means that there is something that followed that. That's why we are saying it is doubtful, because when God said that, then God said let there be light, he had created something else. That's why I said there was darkness. That's what Genesis 1 says. There was darkness, and then when he realized that darkness was not good for us, he created light. Now, if I move here, in Exodus 25 and elsewhere, the Israelites were commanded to prepare lights in the tabernacle as part of their worship of God. So, I'm just trying to show you the importance of light. In Samuel, 2 Samuel 22, David said, for you are my lamp, O Lord. Meaning, he's trying to show, and in every, if you read the Bible, there's a lot of quotation as it relates to light. The Bible calls Jesus the light of the world, and so many of those. Now, why do we have to sleep? Why do we have to sleep? Is sleep really very important? I'm going very fast. Is it very important? How many people come to church and honestly, this is honest, you come to church and then you start dozing, trying to sleep during the sermon? How many? I mean, it's a fact. Now, are you really hearing what the pastor is saying? No. And why are we sleeping in church is because we are not resting. We are not resting. Especially some of us that have come from where we've come from. We say that we left sleep at where? At home. What did we come to do? Work. You work. You know what's going to happen? You might sleep in the grave. I'm just saying that. You know why? Because sleep is important. And we're going to see this. Now, if we are following Christ, you see Peter, I'm giving you one that you all know before I give you others. You see Peter going to who? To Jesus. And he says, Master, Master, you have been sleeping and snoring here. I'm adding a little bit of it. You know the verse I'm talking about? And then Jesus wakes up and says, oh my goodness, that was very good. It was a good sleep, right? And then he calls Peter, you people of what? Little faith. And then he calms the storm. Is that one example of sleep? Right? And Jesus himself, as the God that we know, he slept. He really, every time he felt tired, what did Jesus do? He went somewhere and he was taking a nap or sleeping. Now, let us start here now. let me do a little bit of facts. Okay? How many people sleep 8 hours a night? Not many. Not many. Even the children, they don't. According to research, children 10 years old to 27, they don't sleep at night. They sleep past midnight. You know why? Thank you. Now, look up there. People need an average of 7.5 hours of sleep uninterrupted at night. People need to expand energy during the day with physical and mental stimulation so they can have a better night's sleep. Now, because you don't have cars. Like if you wanted to go from here to there, what do? Where's my key? When you don't find it, what happens? You start feeling, what did I do with my key? But where we came from, by default, we don't have cars, so we don't think about it. What do? We walk. Jesus himself, he never used a car. He was walking every day, even the disciples. If you follow them clearly, you will see that. But I'm not saying that you should walk. What I'm saying is, what are we really doing? Now, when I do the children's story, normally I show this thing here. I want to know if the children knows how many hours they're supposed to sleep. So there it tells you how many hours, ages 5 to 10, 10 to 11 hours. My mother used to tell me, let the baby sleep so they can do what? Grow. Do you know that we all need that? All of us. We need to sleep so that we can grow. For us, when we sleep, our cells regenerate. We feel good. We were created, and you're going to see it in the Bible here. We were created to sleep a third of our life. Have you ever seen a cat sleep? How many hours does a cat sleep? 18 hours. 18 hours. Now, the chinsaga we eat. Do you know that they sleep? They follow the sun. Have you seen that? Chinsaga? They follow the sun. When it is evening, they go like this. Every living being, every living thing, they have that ability of sleeping, resting. But we have turned ourselves into people that don't want to rest. But now, for us adults, we are supposed to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Honestly, the book of Psalms, which we are going to see here, it says, if you are lacking sleep, and as a Christian, if you are lacking sleep, because sleep is a gift that God gave us. If you are lacking that gift, then it means that you are not praying enough. How many people pray that God give me a good night's sleep? Not very many. What we pray about is, God help me to whatever, and then no night sleep. But sleep is a gift that we were given by God, and if we are following His footsteps, we need to emulate His footsteps. Now, this is a cat here sleeping. You see a cat sleeping? Now, if a cat is sleeping, how about us? A dog. Have you seen a dog? How many people have seen a dog dream? If you haven't, you Google it. Just go Google and say, I want to see a dog dreaming. You will see it. A cat is able to sleep all these hours, 18 hours. Now, what happens if you don't sleep well? Now, I talked about light, right? When light goes through your eyes, it follows to a place called the pineal gland, right here. This is where the sleeping pill is. We don't need to take medication to sleep. God created it. It is still in our brain, in the center of our brain. God put it there. So if you are lacking it, there is something you are doing wrong. That's why I said, normally on Saturday evening, I tell you what you are going to do. You can turn it around. The good news is, when it comes to sleep, because it's a gift from God, I don't know what happened. I went to sleep. Okay. Now, there are things that you can do to turn that around. And I'm going to do that quickly. I talked about serotonin a little bit. What is it? It's a chemical in your intestine. It's the one that helps you to digest food. And then melatonin is the hormone that helps you to sleep. It was put there in creation. And we're going to see that. I just tried to go quick. These two things have to balance. Melatonin and serotonin have to balance in order for you to be able to sleep. Now, I talked about the human biological clock. Did you know that every hour of the day has a function for you in the body? Every hour of the day. Now, you look here. Oh, is that me? Oh, let it not sleep no more. Okay. So this, if I was to come to Dallas again, I could print this and you put it in your bedroom. This is very important. It's a biblical thing. I'll tell you where it comes from the Bible. This is the human biological clock. But let me move here. I talked about circadian rhythm and timekeeper. Now, no more sleep and circadian rhythm in the Bible. I'm going to read this quickly. In general, sleep in the Bible is governed by rising and setting of the sun. When the sun rises, we are supposed to be up. And as the sun goes, when it gets to darkness, right here, people rise when it is light and go to sleep when it is dark and when it is hot. He made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows when to set. You bring darkness and it is night. When all the beasts, we have turned ourselves to be beasts. You know what we call nocturnal animals? Nocturnal animals are supposed to be upright during the night. And us human beings are supposed to be home and sleeping. But where are we? All over the place. All night, all day. We can't function. Now, here it says, man then goes out to his work, to his labor until evening. This is the book of Psalms. Psalms 104, 19 to 23. You can put it down, you can go read it at home. This confirms that man is, rising with the sun, with the light, and going to sleep with darkness. While some animals are nocturnal, rising at night and going to sleep during the night, during the day. This also points out that there is a rhythm to life, and sleep is part of that rhythm. Now, that is the circadian rhythm. Now, if you look here, in several verses of Psalms, it says, "Awake, O my soul, awake, O heart, right? I will wake the dawn," suggesting that the light time to rise is with the morning sun. So, which means, if you are sleeping during the day, there is a problem. Now, let me move here quickly. Bible stages of sleep. Sleep has 5 stages. There is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 and 5, and REM. REM is the dreaming stage. How many people dream? How many people dream and remember their dreams? How many people don't? Yeah. This is the good news though. If we stop dreaming, we will all die. Dreaming is part of who we are. We dream every blessed night. The only thing is we don't remember. Do you know why? Because the 5 stages of sleep that we're going to see here, if you disrupt one stage, you can't remember what was happening. Dream is part of a way of removing all the toxins that are in your body. So that's why I said, how many people have seen a dog dream? That's why I asked that question. Even the cat, any living being, they dream, they remove the toxins. But, and then we want to see the dreaming in the Bible. It has a lot of meaning in the Bible, but one of it is to remove the toxins. Now, this is taken directly from the Bible, the stages of sleep. Now, there is stage 1. How many people, when you hit the pillow, you are gone? You sleep like that. How many? Now, if you do that, it means that you are sleep deprived. It means that's not good. Remember I talked about melatonin and serotonin? It takes 15 minutes for the, like, you know how we used to run and you wait for the... Yeah? Yes, it takes 15 minutes for melatonin to give serotonin the back. 15 minutes. Because it has to harmonize. It's a very interesting science. So if you hit the pillow and you start snoring or sleeping, it has to take 15 minutes. And then there is stage 2, 45 minutes. Stage 3 takes 90 minutes. And it takes 5 rounds of that stages at night. Stage 5 is when you dream. Some of us don't go up to stage 5 because we disturb, we are waking up. How many people wake a lot at night? Yeah. And why? There's reasons, and that is why I usually tell people, what are you going to do to reduce that? It depends on what we eat. How many cook with salt? Salt. How many people drink sugary things at night? I know you are not going to say yes, but we do that unconsciously. So, like when we used to run, remember when we used to run at home? When you have finished what were they giving you? Glucose. Why? Now, how are you going to make tea? You put 17 spoons of sugar and you expect to sleep. No? I mean, honestly. So, what I'm saying here is there are some things that we do unconsciously, but once you know, you will change. And it's actually in the Bible here. Now, so I was talking about stages of sleep. I'm going to move here fast. There are a lot of things that will happen when you don't sleep well. I'm going to move here so quickly. In the Bible, insomnia is a matter of sleep. Now, I'm going to read this here quickly. Insomnia is, let's see. Insomnia in general was no strange to the rabbis. And so it is no surprise that there are also reasons about problems of falling and staying asleep. Sleeplessness or insomnia is sometimes used in the Bible to stress the severity of whatever it is wrong with a person. Now, if you keep reading that, I don't want to read everything here. If you don't sleep well, you become so anxious and stressful. You get, how many people in the morning you wake up, somebody's asking you a question, you are like, you don't have questions, you are just asking me answers. How many? You are crabby, that's what I mean. If you don't sleep well, you know you are very crabby. Even in church, if you don't sleep well, you come from there, the pastor is asking you a question, you know you don't answer them right because you did not sleep. That's one of the reasons that we need to rest well before we come to church. I'm going to move quickly here. Napping. How many people, you are sitting in your room, at home, and you start sleeping? You know what that is telling me? You didn't sleep last night. The body is tired. We are tired. Really, we are. Now, when Jesus comes, what are we going to do? We're going to be sleeping? Is he going to find us rested? Probably, probably not. And I'm not saying that Dallas people don't sleep. Minnesota people don't sleep. Everywhere. We have turned our body to be, I don't know. Now, what will happen if we don't sleep well? Some of the things. Now, in our people that have come from all over the world, that have come to look for money, do you know that the instances of diabetes has gone up? If you don't sleep well, if you have worked a night shift before, when it gets to midnight, what happens? Yes, but you want to snack, you want to eat, you want to drink water, you become so thirsty. Now, I talked about serotonin. Serotonin is your chemical that digests food, right? It is suppressed. Suppressed means you bring something and put it on top. When it is suppressed, it means that you are not digesting your food. So when you eat, you become spongy. Your food is not digested, then it affects because that's in your intestine, right here. The risk of diabetes, right here. The food is just stays in your stomach. Now, let me not scare anybody. It's the same. Now, I'm not going to talk about this. What can you do about it? Let me move here fast. If this can. There are some foods. I don't want to show you this. Let me talk a little bit about this. Now, I know I've spoken several places. I've spoken from the clinical aspect, from the biblical aspect, but most people think that it is a shame to accept that you don't sleep well. It's not. God's plan for us is to have arrested while we are. Because there's a song that says, why can't we have a little heaven down here, right? What is that song? How does it go? Let us have a little heaven down here. It's a song. I don't remember how it goes. But in the Bible, so I will give you an exercise, because don't write all these verses that I went so fast. Go and say and Google, what does the Bible say about sleep? I'm giving you an exercise so you can go and read it for yourself. You don't have, then you will see all those verses. I usually give some handout as it relates to Ellen G. White. What does she say? There is a place where she says, it's a principles of good health. She says, we have turned our body to be a pendulum. It keeps on going like this. All we do is we oil it. How do we oil it? By eating oily food, by eating this. You go to work and then you come back and then, by the time you sit down, you cannot even think. And that is why we have a lot of conflicts everywhere, because people don't even think. Because we are so tired. We always are very tired. And let me go back here quickly. I jumped something here that is important. I want you to see what Job is saying. We're going to read this together. Job complained of his symptoms of insomnia, nights of misery. When I lie down, that is Job saying, when I lie down, I think. How many do that? How many people lie down and think? This is Job. I think, when shall I rise? How many people go to bed and like, when you turn from east to west, right? Job did the same thing. He says, I think, when shall I rise? Night drags on, and when continues. Another translation is, my arteries, palpates, so strong that I cannot sleep. And then he says, this may have been a reference to pain or some other illness causing insomnia. Insomnia is sleeplessness. These are typical complaints of many people with insomnia, spending the night worrying about not being able to sleep, about when they will need to wake up and tossing and twinkle in night alone. Do we see that for ourselves? How many people feel like Job? I do. Sometimes I do. I toss from east to west. We are all in pain. It doesn't have to be physical pain. As people that have come from wherever we have come from, we suffer from emotional pain. It is not physical pain. So when I ask how many people have pain, when I don't see no hands, that's not true. Because we are suffering from emotional pain. Emotional pain, meaning we have been building castles in the air. We build castles, we do things in Ellen G. White says, if you want to discuss something important, don't do it past 8 p.m. I repeat. I know we've been doing all this. If you want to discuss something substantial, you want to do something, a project or something, don't do it past 8 p.m. It's nothing. It becomes a giggle, garbage in, garbage out. People will say, yes, in waiting or whatever, I heard you. But you ask them in the morning, it's not there. Why? Because you did it at a wrong time. Maybe I'll send Pastor Ubintu all this Ellen G. White, actually tonight. I'm going to send it so that you can get copies. It is 26 fundamental of health living. Actually, we could Google it, but just go to Ellen G. White and see what does she say about rest. Now, we're going to read one verse here. Psalm 6:7. Let's read Psalm 6:7, if you have it. Psalms 6 verses 7. You found it? We don't have Bibles. My Bible.
Psalm 6:7.
Yes.
My mind is consumed because of grief. It wax old because of all reading. Please use that.
Psalm 6:7.
Psalm 6 verse 7 says, my eye is consumed because of grief.
Just stop right there. My eyes are what?
Consumed because of grief.
Continue.
It waxed old because of all my enemies.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
8. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity, for the Lord has heard the voice of my weeping.
Yes. Now, if you read the book of Psalms, I will advise you to go read it. There is a lot of times that Job was actually having sleepless nights. David is the one who wrote the book of Psalms, right? He had a lot of. Let's go to Psalm 77, 4 to 5. 77, yes. Verses 4 to 5.
Psalm 77, 4. Thou holdest my eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. 5. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. 6. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart and my spirit made diligent search.
Yes. Job is saying, David is saying, my eyes are open like somebody put a glue on them. You know, when you look at the human biological clock, even where we have come from, what time of the night were thieves? Thieves. What time of the night did they come? Okay. When does the thief come to steal? It is from midnight to 4 a.m. Why? I'm going to show you why. According to the human biological clock, let me go there quickly. I want to show you. That is the deepest sleep. I can carry you from here, put you right here, and even dance in front of you, you won't hear. Let me go here quickly. If I can get to the human biological clock. Okay. So, that's why I said, did I go all the way? Okay, yeah. So, at 4, even those people who drive trucks or people who drive at night, you know there is a time at night that you cannot open your eyes, even if you did. Have you ever, how many people have driven from at night? Here is the human biological clock. Now, here. You said, Zanane, 2 a.m. What is there? Deepest sleep. The thieves knew when they can come. They know that if I go to this, they will not hear. You know why? It was put there. So from this time, from 2 a.m., this is midnight, 2 a.m., lowest body temperature. When your body temperature is very low, it means that you are almost dead. You can't function. So from 2 a.m. to around 4:30, Sakumi, you go watch. Thieves, this is when bad things happen. This is when accidents happen, even for those who drive night shift. So that's why I said the human biological clock that God put in us, very, very important. So if you know this time, I was speaking in Seattle, and I was speaking from the clinical aspect in Seattle a month ago, and the Department of Health of Seattle were asking me. I was asking them, why do you do the blood pressures and vital signs at night? Now, the nurses do their vital signs at 2 a.m. Really? You wouldn't get any good reading during that time. So that's why I'm saying, if we want to really follow the steps of Christ, we have to follow the steps of Christ from A to Z. We cannot say that our body is the temple, it's the holy temple of the Lord, thinking that those people who drink or who smoke are the only ones who are not doing right. No, if you don't sleep well, you are not treating God's temple right. That's a fact. So if you are not sleeping well and you are not really trying to make an effort of sleeping well, it is not good. Now, for the sake of you, because you came, let me finish by saying, so what? What am I going to do to be able to sleep well? You don't need to go to see a doctor. What you need to do is, now I'll give you the 12 commandments of sleep. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is it that you are going to do for you to turn your biological clock to be right? Number 1, you go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. Now, how many people extend because, oh, this is weekend. Now, I have been working. Now, I need to extend today. How many? Wrong. Let me tell you one thing. Once you lose sleep, you cannot get it back. You will never get it back. You can't compensate. How many people, when you extend, you wake up, you have a headache. You feel like crowding. You know why? Because that's not your routine. That's why I'm saying you have to have a routine. You go to bed at the same time, you wake up at the same time. Even if you are off from work. Are we on the same page? Number 2, how many people in your bedroom, you have a light, a big light that is up? We need to reduce the amount of light in our bedroom. It has to be kind of yellow amber. And another thing you need to do is lock all those electronics for her and him. We have to have a room where when it gets to 8 p.m., I know you are not going to like me. I know. But when it gets to 8 p.m., take all the electronics. Blue light, the blue light that comes from those gadgets, they affect your melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that helps you to sleep. Number 3, stop watching TV by 8 p.m. It's difficult because that blue light from the TV affects your melatonin level. I know it is difficult. I know, but I'll have to say, light is good during the day, but not at night. Now, when you drive at night, U.S. Department of Transportation, you know what they did? They used to have those things on the road where when you are sleeping, it wakes you up. Nowadays, you know what they have? The new cars that are coming have blue sharp light. Have you seen that? Very blue. It hits your... Remember what I showed you? It hits your retina and wakes you up? That light, when it comes into your eyes, you don't sleep anymore. That light. So the new cars, if you just start watching tonight, as you are driving, the light is very sharp. It's not yellow anymore. It's very blue and very sharp. Number 4. Are we number 4 or 3? Number 4. You have to be mindful of what you eat before you go to bed. Don't go to work, you come back at 11, you will not sleep. So, you have to be mindful of what you are eating because it is not going to be digested. So, avoid this kind of food. Salt, close to night, and sugar. Don't. You know what you're supposed to eat before you go to bed? A banana. Banana is a sleeping pill. Are we on the same page? You can Google that. A banana is a food that helps you to sleep. You know another one? Avocado. Avocado is good for you. It helps you to sleep. Another thing that will help you to sleep, you know what it is? No, that is too heavy. A warm glass of milk. Warm it a little bit, not too hot. Let me not talk about tea. If you are drinking, if you want something warm, I have to be careful. If you want something warm, as a I don't want to. I have to be careful when I'm speaking. But tea is not good at night. Let me say that. So I can give you a list of food that you can eat before you go to bed. Do you know that America is the most sleep-deprived nation on earth? America, followed by China. Now, have you ever asked yourself why America has a lot of instances of diabetes, of dementia and all that? It's because of what's happening. especially in Dallas. Do you know what is in Dallas?
No.
Every street is very bright. You go here, there is a 24-hour burger, there is waffle, there is people are eating like they never. You know, Minnesota is not like that. You know why? Because of snow. You know, it's not always good as Dallas. How many people have gone to Las Vegas? Las Vegas, you wouldn't know what is day, what is night. Now, are we number 4 or 5? 5. Okay? Now, if you are going to bed, you have to reduce the amount of liquid that you drink. Do drink a lot of water during the day, but when you are going towards 5, 6, 7, you reduce the amount of liquid. You know why? You are going to wake up and disrupt the 5 stages of sleep. And every time you do that, you dream, you can't remember. So in order for you to sleep well uninterrupted, don't drink too much liquid. That includes too much tea. You can drink it during, don't drink anything that has caffeine in it. It's going to affect you. Are we number 5 or 6? Reduce the amount of noise that goes into. How many people use the earphone? Not good. Do you know why? The pineal gland is right in the center of your brain. Let me show you. Let me show you here quickly. I showed you the pineal gland, right? It is right in the center of your brain. So every time you are using your eardrum, it's affecting the ability for you to sleep. I was looking for that picture. If you can move it to that picture that has a retina in it. The one. So reduce the number one sleep disturbance thing that makes people not sleep is noise. It could be noise outside, it could be too much loud noise, it could be noise in your head. You know we have noise in the head? You hear noise in the head but you don't see where it's coming from. So don't use your earphones too late. Now, besides also taking away your electronics, how many people say, I'm not going to answer this phone, but you put it close to you? And you know what happens? And you wake up and say, oh, Baga, get on. You know, you have disturbed your 3 stages. So even if you don't answer the phone, you still have it in your head. Right? So you wake up and say, And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that working a night shift is wrong. I'll give you some remedies for that too. It's not wrong. But there are people who work night, have night. So your body is asking you, my goodness, I thought you were uniquely and perfectly made. Oh no, what are you doing to me? I don't even rest. Now, and then your body is asking you, when your car needs an oil change, what do? You take it, you start looking and saying, oh, my car has passed the mileage. Have you ever stood down and said, my body has passed the mileage? No, let us, have you ever said, you know what? I think my body needs oil change. You know the oil change? How many people have ever gone to a massage? How many? If you haven't, start. That is your oil change. You go and get, it is good. Now, another thing is, just go refresh. When you are taking a vacation or whatever, just go with no computer, nothing, and sit down and meditate or do, So, are we number 6 or 5? 7. So I said, now, go to Minutes and buy what we call an amber. But in your bathroom, you need to change that light. I know each one of you, the bathroom has very, very bright light. Am I right? Yes. Now, it is your bathroom. You know where it is. So you don't need that bright light. Because every time you wake up, you go there and then you put that light on. You know what happens? It suppresses your melatonin level. So when you go back to sleep, you know what happens? It takes you a long time before you sleep. So it has to be, the light has to be amber, it has to be yellow light. So go to Minutes, and they have it. It's called amber light. That's what they call it. Alright? Now, another thing that you need to do is, if you work a night shift, I'm talking to the night owls. People that work a night shift. If you work a night shift, you need to make day your night. When you come from work, your rituals that you do, that other people do at night, you do the same thing. You come, don't come from work, and then you go to Kroger, and whatever you call it, and do all shopping. You go to K&G, you buy all these things. By the time you get home, it's midday. No, I mean, that's what we do because of convenience. We have turned rest into convenience. So we have to be mindful of that. So make your night to be day and your day to be night. So you are supposed to eat breakfast, right? So when you come home, is that your night? When you come home from work, you work the night shift, that goes to your day. So at night, try not to sleep because you're working. So when you come home, you won't be able to sleep because you already slept. So then your day is messed up. Are we on the same page? Did I lose you or do I have you here? Are you already tired of me? I can stop right here. All right. Where are we? Number 8 or 7? Number 8. Now, how many people have invested in a good pillow? Let me tell you. How many people have invested in a good bed? You say, sleep is not important, so why would I buy a good mattress? It's okay. Help me tell you. Now, invest. Now, knowing what you know now, you need to invest in a good pillow, and a good mattress, and a good bed. Why? Sleep is, there are 3 things in life, and it's in the Bible. I wish I had more time. I could show you this. There are 3 things in life. You eat well, you sleep well, you exercise, you will be fine. You eat well, sleep well, you exercise. And those things actually go hand in hand. If you exercise, how many people exercise in the morning? We're going to change it today. Okay. According to the human biological clock, which it shows you in the morning you are still waking up. If you have to walk, our body is like a cell phone. You have to empty it to charge it. So while you are waking up, you don't need to do that unless you are a Kepchoge or those people who do that for a living. You do it from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. But we can't because we are always working, right? You know why? You are preparing your body to be able to sleep well at night. If you exercise, you go walking in the evening, not in the morning. It doesn't help you. So that is number 9, we said. You do your exercise, not in the morning, do it in the afternoon. Are we almost there? Okay. Now, I could have shown you what David is saying. He's saying, try to wind up, actually that's Helen G. White saying, try to wind up your day by around 7. Now you have to eat your dinner. And dinner. You eat it not past 8. When it gets to 8 p.m., you eat a little snack. So, number 10, eat your dinner from 6 p.m. If you are late, maybe 7:30. And it all depends on what kind of food you are eating. So you have to be mindful. Some of the things that I've said are very difficult to do. It's like people are looking at me and say, I've been doing these things. No, I was saying in another language that some people are looking at me saying, it's too late now. No, it's not. You can turn that biological clock around, and God will be very happy about it. Because we have turned our body. Instead of us working, our body is the work itself. So we need to turn our body we have to tender it very well. Are we number 11 or 12? 11. Number 12 is always 11. Always seek the higher power. Pray for that gift to come to you. Because grace conquers it all. Now, I have 1 minute to finish. Any question? I just went so fast. I'll send this to Pastor Vinchu so you can get it via email. Any question?